Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to My Spiritual Experience with your host, um, myself, Brother Sadiq. The reason I'm on here today is because I have a pressing energy to share some thoughts that I have that are probably a little off topic from our usual conversation. But the point is, it's a pressing, urgent message, and I think it's something I have to share. We are all active in whatever is going on in our own lives and in the world as a broader scheme of all of what we are seeing happening. From the wars to the border crisis to the issues of racism popping up in our politics, all of these things are relevant to all of our lives. I think one of the things that is important for us to recognize is that we have a part to play in all of this. Okay? It is not just a random occurrence that's happening around us. It's actually a part of our own lives that we have attention and intention to change and transform with our focus, with what we pay attention to. So I'm saying this because the whole idea of this show is to talk about spirituality and how it relates to us in an everyday, matter to our lives. And so, one of the things that I think is important that I have not really spoken on yet is that we have our own spiritual powers available to us to act in relation to what we would like to see happening in the world as well. And so, one of the things that I've spoken about many times, on many occasions is the matrix, the idea of the matrix, the idea of us being born into a system that is set up around us that we really don't have much option but to interact with as accord to how it's set up until we become somewhat conscious of how we can kind of break ourselves apart from how there is a hypnotic rhythm to the life of the people who live in the matrix versus those who live by inspiration and can be moved and transformed by new information and things that they understand that are sometimes a guide to their life. So, it sounds complicated and complex, but the fact of the matter is, what I'm talking about is the intention that you have and the power that you have to perceive the world in the way that you want it to be. So I am under the heavy assumption that where we are in time as a humanity, as a species, and this is due to my study of prophecy and my long study of the different religions and my study of the different cultures around the world and their predictions for our times. We are on the cusp of something wonderful and scary at the same time, right? So we see the things that are going on in the world that can bring us worry or concern or fright or, deep, at times, unsettling emotions in ourselves, right? From, like I said, I just went over all of the chaos that we can see in the world. But there is also the opportunity and the power and the idea that heaven on earth, God's kingdom, lives in the hearts of men and women and the souls of the people who live on this earth. So we are, from what I understand, the tools, the body of God, the physical presence of that spiritual energy on this planet, and we have the opportunity to act at our highest perception of ourselves, right? We can be kings and queens and majestic souls in this world if we so choose to be, or we can be downtrodden by the setup of the matrix that says, oh, there's 50 million obstacles in front of your goal. Or you can perceive your future, your path as wide open, lit by, signposts that guide you towards your future. It's a matter of how you perceive the world that we're living. We're living by our perception. Your perception is your reality. And so you have to broaden, you have to take the steps, you have to make the effort in this time, right now, to transform what you'd like to see of the world, right? We all have a vision of what is heaven on earth. right? You have yours, I have mine. And generally speaking, our vision of heaven on earth isn't hurting anyone else. And for those souls who have that kind of heart, I think it's your duty and responsibility to begin to envision a world that is better than what we are seeing in our everyday, news cycles. That is definitely an entrainment and a program, as it's been put, right in your face. It's called television programming. Okay. And so programming your mind, programming your perception, programming your reality. There is a hip hop group back in the day named, what's they called? They're called the Dead Prez. They say, who's got control of your mind and your worldview? Is it the news or the movie you're taking your girl to? So you understand what I'm saying? And what we're understanding about science and the mind and human psychology is that we are extremely receptive to things that we hear, things that are repetitive in our environment. We are receptive. Our mind is somewhat like an open door. Our subconscious mind is somewhat like an open door to things that are going on in our environment, and they enter us whether we're aware of it or not. And so, I've had a very regimented life in the sense of things that I allow into my environment, or things that I interact with, or people that I interact with, based on my understanding of how these things affect my own consciousness, right? So certain music, I just don't listen to it. And in fact, it bothers my spirit to hear it. Like, hey, please don't, I can't do it. I can't do it. Please, I can't listen to that. Can we turn it off? I don't want to hear it. I don't want that infecting my spirit. So I'm just talking. This is a rant, but I woke up with this energy that there is an urgency to our own experience, and that we should be acting towards our highest vision for what we'd like to see in the world. So they say, become what you'd like to see in the world. All of that thing, all of those, ideas. That is the reality. You have to perceive what you'd like to see for your own, household, your own personal life, your own reality, as well as the reality that you would like to see the world experiencing, right? We don't want to see wars. We don't want to hear of people dying. We don't want to hear of people, being unalived anywhere on the planet for any reason, let alone for war, right? Let alone for war. So everything from the trafficking to, it's just a bad way. And if we keep paying and giving our attention to those things, then we are by default feeding it, consciously or not. So what I am saying, what I am suggesting, what I am hoping, what I am praying for all of us is that we can have the strength, the consciousness, the wherewithal to envision a better world. We have the opportunity to do that. That is what our mind is for, right? Our imagination is designed to help us to see things other than what is in our reality. Okay? Imagination. Okay? And so in your imagination, you can create, and if you inspire your imagination with emotion and feeling and heart, you bring these things to you quicker. And this is what I'm practicing. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm studying. This is what I've studied. This is what all of my life studies have led me to. My goal in life is to understand the human capability, the heights of the human abilities. There is so much mystery in our being in itself. There are those in the Hindu practice who sit outside in the Himalayan mountains on cold ice peaks that never see thaw, and they sit out there and they meditate and they create a circle of heat from their body that melts the snow around them as it's snowing, and they're sitting there taking it. How are they doing this? So these are the things that are wondrous about the human ability. And this is a matter of mind over matter. It is the way you're thinking. And so I want to say this because we have been trained to think of ourselves as sinners as the lowest form of being who must attain to another height. And the reality is you are born connected to the most high source, and that you are the breath of life that is from source that animates your body. And because we've so been controlled and so been programmed to see ourselves as so much smaller and so much less than, when in reality, those who attempt to hold you down or attempt to make you feel this way recognize that the control of all of these things are based in the people, right? I mean, the entire of society is based in how we see the world, as we accept these people as elites. They are not elite. You know, they really are not elite. They are just people like you. But they understand how our mind works. They understand the power of the magnetism of our emotion and how they can manipulate it through television, through so many things that we use as media. Okay, all forms of media are controlled, and so that's why what we see now is that most people are picking up their media straight from the internet. And so there is an urgency in my voice, and it's not because of fear. It's because of the heightening and the ramping up of all of these things that are designed to make you feel less than. They're telling you that AI is coming and that you won't have a job, you won't have a place. Okay, that is another scare tactic. The reality of this planet is that life is about the human soul. And the human soul is about relationship to other human souls. And so once we recognize that and look at ourselves as a human species, and we understand that we're here to help each other reach our fullest potential. We're here to support one another in this very time, because we are on the brink of what I consider to be God's kingdom, heaven on earth, or the destruction of the old world and the beginning of the new world. And so we have a opportunity to take part in it and to be a part of the light and the bright and the good and the new that will come, that will be heaven on earth, God's kingdom on earth. I'm going to tell you what I believe and I feel I know from all of my 51 years of learning and experience in relation to spirit and to God. The question of most spiritual people is, what is the will of God on earth, right? If there is a God, what is his will and purpose on earth? And I believe that it is for each human being that he brings to this earth by his will and intention is designed and intended to reach their fullest potential. But you come into this matrix that is designed to keep you from doing exactly that. And so we can deny that. We can say, oh, no, that's just an imaginary reality. No, it's not. You can see it. You can feel it. We all are experiencing it. I think we all know that the fruit that grows on the trees and the vegetables that grow from the ground are from nature and from the earth, yet we're paying for them. So this is part of the matrix. We pay for water. We pay for all of these things that keep us linked and trapped into these cycles that are set in a system that is designed to keep your mind trapped way below where its highest frequencies could produce for you through your own imagination, your own creativity, and your own connectivity to those in your circle. We have these connections, we have these interactions, we have these relationships that we're trained almost not to foster through the repetitive cycles of, I got to go to work, I got to pay the bills, I got every 30 days this, every so many days that, every week this, every day that, so it's so many cycles that they have you trapped in, that we're all trapped in. And until we can do some form of mental break from that, it's hard to even see that you're trapped in that matrix. And so there are those who try and share, myself, Brother Rye Hayes, there are so many, Black Magic 363, I mean, I just can't name them all. It's just too many people to name. But the fact of the matter is, there are so many people who are trying to share what they've learned, what they know, and it's not out of ego. It's not out of braggadociousness. It is out of love. It is out of compassion for humanity. Okay? Yes, I am a black man, so my compassion and my humanity, of course, extends immediately to my black race in America. As I have seen the mindset of my people be so distorted that their accomplishments are so few and far between, because we've been told that we are, descendants of slaves, that we are unwelcomed in this society, and all of the things that society has shown us has given us this viewpoint of the world that is so skewed to our spiritual truth and reality. Okay? The things that have happened in this country, we have to talk about, we have to bring to the surface, we have to acknowledge, we have to change, we have to be willing to put some effort in bringing a different type of reality. Okay, there is the racial tension in this country, and it is getting worse. It is getting hyped. It is getting ramped up through the news, through the television, through talk shows, through so many avenues. But the fact of the matter is, we are all sharing the same souls. We have just been so manipulated. I'm going to give a quick scenario. White people have been told that they are the supremacists in this country. Okay, they are the highest form of being in this land. Okay, and so that perspective has been programmed into them. Okay, as in the blacks, they have been programmed to be the descendants of slaves, and so they have to fight against all of the system in order to get to anything and to struggle, and all this. This is in the mind. This is all in the mind. And so from that perspective, you have that fight. And then from the perspective of being a white kid who's been told he's at the top of the class, and then when you go into schools and when you go into society, there are those who seem to be outdoing you, in different facets of life. And you feel, well, if I am the supreme, how is this the reality? And so this is twisting us all. These are ways that we have been manipulated, and we have to begin to pay attention to these things, and we have to begin to fight back against these things and share and be willing to hug and love and care for others other than yourself, but recognizing that that soul and that other being is the same as yours. Okay? We want and we love and we desire and we hope all the same things. Okay, our heart, our intercore selves are the same. If you start from your family, you will understand this truth. You take it from your family and you go extended family, and then you go into the community, okay, and then you go into the city, and then you go into the state, and then you go. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? And so it's just a matter of love. This is all about love. And if we are allowing this matrix to distort who we actually are, we are not winning. We are not mastering ourselves in this time. We cannot allow this matrix to transform our internal selves. We have to fortify our internal selves to transform the matrix. We have that ability. We have that power. We have the opportunity. We are here right now. All of the information is being shared with us. I mean, you can go on, like I said, you can go on Greg Braden's show. He's breaking down spirituality and psychology and sociology and how it all comes together right now in our times and how we can utilize it to transform our world. Okay. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Okay. He is also another academic who is delved deeply into the heart science, heart brain coherence. Okay, all of these things are our powers. These are our human technology that we have to transform this matrix, this atmosphere that we exist in. Okay, so what it's saying is that our spiritual abilities and our consciousness and these parts of us that are deeply related to things that are unseen, okay, they are transformative. They are energetically transformative to our reality. And that is why you can feel someone staring, because that energy of that person's being their attention has an effect on you. You can feel someone staring and someone can feel you staring because our attention, our energy has an effect in the reality. That is what quantum science and quantum physics is proving. You can look this experiment up. It's called the double slit experiment, and it breaks down exactly the science behind the energy of the observer. The observer is you. You are the source inside of this being. You are the light. You are the energy. You are the love. You are the spirit of the highest form of life on this planet, in this body. And you have access to the highest forms of spiritual energy, those that transform these guys who sit on the mountain and can turn the heat into, turn their body heat up so it melts the snow around them and they never get cold, and they're sitting there in a sheer sheet meditating. That is mind over matter. That is proof of our human ability to attain to higher heights. We've been trained to think lower of ourselves, and until we recognize and begin to train our children, as the Matrix is designed to train our children away from their spiritual selves, from their own capabilities, from their human technology. It is designed to put them into the Matrix in a way that locks them out from their spiritual selves. And there's an urgency right now for us who have any awareness to do our part, whether it's these videos or whatever you can do. It is a time now to begin to do it. If you don't, then you will probably have some kind of personal discomfort in yourself, recognizing that you're not living up to your fullest, that you're not even attaining to what you're here for. And so this matrix has controlled you, and you have to break free. It's a fight. It is a constant matter of where you place your attention. And it is a constant effort. And I sometimes may be militaristic with the amount of attention that I pay on how I allow things to enter into my atmosphere. But I honestly don't think I have a perfect balance on it. I think I may be extreme. But the fact of the matter is, I would rather be extreme that way than to be lackadaisical and allow something to occur that I'm just totally, unaware of happening in my environment. So attentiveness is important. Being attentive of your own thoughts, the way things that you interact with make you feel. Generally speaking, these are just random thoughts. Like I said, I woke up with this, and it was something I felt like I needed to do, something I felt like I needed to share, and that there is a certain importance to the times that we're living in and what we are doing with our time. Okay? There is an importance to what you do with your time. Time management in these times is extremely important, because it feels to me like time is compressing, and we have to attain to the things that we're here for with a certain urgency that I feel it's my duty in this time to prompt you towards. So all out of love. Like I said, this is all out of love, not out of fear, because the power is actually with us. And if we envision our world in a better way, then we can actually bring about that world. But we have to have vision. And generally speaking, our vision has been manipulated, programmed, and controlled. I don't believe that the average person has the capability of envisioning their highest self without some form of meditation or some form of internal focus. So, like, just you ask somebody what, the highest self, you think of a house and a car and enough money to not have to do anything, but is that your highest self? Is your highest self transformative of the world? Is your highest self spiritual messenger, prophet? Is your highest self a real innovative thinker that just has not been put in the right environment to bring that about? So that's what I'm saying. I don't think we've even envisioned who our our highest selves could be because of the programming that's been so heavily, put on us. So that's important. You have to envision your highest self, your highest capabilities, your most beautiful world, the most beautiful version of this earth. Okay? That is our duty. All of us who are here, and anybody who happens to hear this video or happens to catch a viewing of this, the point of your life right now in these times is to bring about the highest vision and version of yourself, the highest ideal of yourself. Okay? The most glorious and the most beautiful and the most effective and the most transformative and the most glorious dream of who you are. Bring that about. Hold that vision. Think of that vision. Feel yourself being that person. Okay? That is your duty. That is your responsibility. That is our responsibility in this time, because the matrix is ramped up to show you all of the negativity that will keep your focus and your attention driving the energy of that negative matrix. You have the ability and the capability to transform how you see your reality, what you would like to see in your reality, what you would like to see as a reality. Okay? I personally want to see everybody winning. I want to see every soul on this planet, white, black, Chinese, Russian, African, Indian, Native, all of us. I want to see us all reaching our fullest potential, because I understand that the light that is in every soul that is alive right now, if it was to glow up to its fullest and produce that which is in its core in this world, we will see heaven on earth. We will see God's kingdom on this planet. Distorted souls, we already know that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the light bearers. I'm talking about those who are about love and the souls of those who are here to do that work. So this is kingdom talk. This is kingdom business. Call me crazy, but I understand where we are, who I am, and what the job is. So I love you. I love you. Call me crazy. I don't even mind being called crazy, because in this world, the crazy man might actually be the one with the connection to what we need to see from this world. But the fact of the matter is, often the crazy man